So I think the previous one did record. I used to have my hands down all the time, even though I've always had the beard. I don't know what this is. Oh, I don't know what this is. It looks like a screenshot. I don't know why. Order suspicious activity, storefront. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I used to have. I'm gonna sit in the more comfortable chair. I used to have. Good boy thing. I used to have. Or I think that one thing did post, the one I just did, but I just had to refresh the screen maybe, not just go back a page. I figured I'll do this while I'm doing what I'm doing. It's actually still in view with the tab I have it on. I'll do this while I'm doing what I'm doing, and if I have company, great. I mean, the dog's here, but as nice as sometimes it is that a dog is not a person, it would sometimes be nice if they were, and understood human language and could be there in those kind of ways for their owners as well. But dogs are great. There's no denying that. So, but basically, putting some lotion on if that's not obvious. Not saying. So, yeah, I just figured I'd roll. I'm feeling not too bad at the moment. And if I have company, I have company. If I don't, I don't, as far as on here. But even that, I'm going to put this on. It seems like it's got a little bit cloudier out. As far as yeah, this is a step that I feel is very important and that I want to take, and I feel it makes so much sense to my life. And I learned in a recent situation that sometimes coming in with a lot of gusto and what's the word, eagerness and this and that doesn't always work in one's favor, but I think that it can, and in fact, I'm pretty sure it can sometimes. And something I'm trying for soon has the option, or has somebody that I'm familiar with. And I found out today, not only that, they are part of the hiring and selection process. So that feels good. The only thing is, because the life coach thing is maybe going to be more of a side thing. The only, it was a startup thing, but it's been slow going for whatever reason. No reason in particular, really, that I, know of. But the only thing is that they said that they, just got fully staffed and they have a lot of casual. I'm looking for 4 to 8 hours a week, maybe 12. I wonder if I should actually say possibly not even every week. If I landed it, I might actually edit that. I mean, it would be great if it was, but I could do like a week on, a week off. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. So I'm just working on a email here. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of typos in the first couple sections or in the first paragraph or two. Well, I mean, it makes sense to mention what's her face when I say who's been part of my Seneca. Like, and it's true, in some ways I've not really had, I mean, it's been a little bit different in recent years, but like a little bit less so or harder. Again, if I had any blame, I'd take it, but mostly I don't. But but unfortunately, that's when I haven't really had that much because the place I'm thinking of because of the pandemic and anxiety in general. And hello, welcome, viewer. As you go, they're like, oh, still talking about the pandemic. Well, you know what? It still's the thing. Look, before the pandemic, I had never been sick in the ways I've been about 4, I think now, as of like this past few days, 5 times. I don't have a great immune system, and it's maybe not as great as it used to be. I mean, I got vaccinated once. Maybe this is not supposed to be about the you know vaccinations or any of that stuff. I'm just saying that and I don't know if that's maybe why the viewer left, but like seconds or they were just scrolling. Anyway, I got it once, I think twice. Once was at a doctor's office. Another one was at a bigger place. And had no. I mean, I am young, but whatever. No reactions, and I think it was a while after that second time that I got it. And the thing is I had a one routine thing for some of that time that I was going to in person. And a very occasional errand. Did most of it online and didn't really have a lot of errands really, but compared to a lot of people. But the other person in the house works around people quite a lot and has, even though this week has had a bit of sniffles and stuff too, I've still gotten it worse. And has a pretty good immune system for his age, and it seems like it really does feel like, because sometimes it's like, well, I haven't been anywhere, I haven't been around people, but you have, and it's like I get it. But it's a physical job, so wearing a mask wouldn't really. And he has funny feelings about it sometimes, but just about the purpose of them, and and honestly, I used to think that the ones that puffed out were weird. But honestly, if you're gonna sneeze in your own face, it'd be nice to have a bit of distance between the mask and your face, right? You know that part. It's very natural, and because I don't go out a lot, maybe that's why. I don't know, and people don't usually comment about it, but it's kind of like I noticed dead spots on this plant that you keep interesting talk that were distracting me. I sometimes pull the mask down. I feel like I'm more easily heard, and it's just friendlier. I don't know, but anywho, so yeah, I've had colds in my life, never to the point where you just feel the body aches and the fluctuation and fever and chills and stuff. I feel like not that same way. So I think it's a thing. And for people that are more active and around people or busier places, they might act and that follow news more, it might actually be known that it's possibly still a thing. But anyway, I want to talk about sickness, I want to talk about wellness. And Sonny, hey, Sonny, what are you doing? Keep laying down and being good. I'll try to be quick here. But yeah, even every other week, like initially I'm thinking, oh, about like the consistency and what's wrong with doing every week? It's part-time anyway. But I want to give them as many options as I can without giving them the option of say no. Hopefully, that will be what I get. And it's entirely possible that, especially since it might be a busier line than that other place, it's entirely possible that I'd want that week off in between. And you know what? Any improvement is an improvement. For myself, for the people that use the service, for our household. I don't know if I should get into it in the email, but I did say the thing about for the household, which I think really shows, fairly obviously, I think Dallas would see it, that it feels like there's a bit of a burden. Or that's the wrong word. An imbalance, not necessarily pressure, thankfully, but it feels like, someone is carrying the weight of the household expenses more than the other person. Not despite efforts, but it's just how it is. So at this point in time, so I put a hat here. I guess I don't look terrible without the hat on, but it depends on the temperature of the place. Like sometimes I get warm or really cold quickly. Oh, we got a viewer. Hello, welcome. So don't be shy. If you have anything that you're looking for advice on, feel free to put it in the chat comments, and I will try to offer that. In the meantime, I'm also applying for an opportunity with something, and I'm hoping that even though it sounds like they aren't exactly looking right now, that they might be willing to consider as the viewer goes. Like, I'm not looking either. Just kidding. Chapstick. That they will hopefully consider, one person. And earlier I was saying, not in this video, I don't think, but in another one, or just saying in general, I suppose it's true that it's not a requirement for them to get back to you. I don't remember if I followed up before. I think I was just watching, and I think they're not getting back to me. And I don't really know if I did. I may have in conversations with somebody who isn't the one that would be making the decisions, that I really hope. But I don't think I did that either, to be honest. Anyway, I'm not going to do this one for very long because I am still under the weather. And I want to get back downstairs shortly. And it's a bit annoying if people are just popping in for a few seconds and going. And in fact, I wondered if that's why it said that there weren't any viewers. When I knew that live there was, and then after it was posted, it tried to tell me there wasn't. There were good comments afterwards, but I think it was because they hadn't even viewed for a minute. Well, part of me thinks, although if somebody is there and they're staying there for a while, that's at least better than. I mean, again, there's different reasons and this and that, but why someone wouldn't. But that's better than someone who's just there for a few seconds. I would say that they might be getting something from it, enjoying it. I had a viewer recently that definitely did seem shy, and they didn't say anything for a while, and then they finally did a little bit. I mean, people, even introverts, want to socialize a little bit. It's a human thing. It's humans. Anyway, but yeah. So and that helps. It releases it. It sounds weird, but and it almost sounds too simple. I understand that because, like, if you were to ask me, am I surprised? I have to cut more of that plant off later. Am I surprised that it works? I would say yeah, kind of, but it does, or at least it helps. Like, be prepared. I mean, I don't want to think about things too far ahead of time, as if they're going to happen or whatever. But like, if they said about the growth, well, just learning about the illnesses and things like reformatting a thought for it to either make more sense or just be a better way of when possible, just about talk therapy. I do feel like it's stuff, and of course there might be training, which I do and don't feel would be necessary, but anyway, I do feel like it's stuff that is easier to demonstrate, like when I'm actually doing it, than explain for whatever reason. I just feel that. And I know I don't really want to get into this particular thing, but I can say, a while ago, the environment wasn't the right fit, I could say. And I don't have to be more specific in that. I'll say I do and don't have all the details around it, honestly, but it just wasn't. But basically, I mean, and the calls came slowly, but like after hearing one, the person that I was shadowing with was willing to let me do the next one. We just never got one. And then the next time she took it, that may not have been for the best if she was there. She was, well, I mean, I'd ask if they're open to it, and if they are, I'd be open. And if they were still open, and like a suggestion, like or advice. I don't see a huge difference between the two. Somebody can choose to either take something or not take something that's said, or to tweak it if they really must. Although they can do that, right? But yeah, so basically, or if you need to. But basically, so like I think very quickly she could sense that I'd be good at it. I mean, it may have been a little bit up to, if I don't, then you might never get a call because, I mean, we have shifts where we don't sometimes. And that was the thing. Like, I was there, I was alone, which, I'm often used to at home as we get a viewer in. So nice to have you here to keep me company for a little bit. Feel free to, if you need advice about anything. Okay, they left, whatever. I'm going to stop being so welcoming. I don't know if people don't like that I'm centering them out, but I'm not saying the name. Maybe. And when they want to know if I do, and if I don't, what's the problem? I don't get it. I'm not like that. I welcome people to, I don't know. Anywho, but yeah, so basically, I was wanting to get to know people, and really, I stayed in the room a little bit. I was organizing my bag. I did get one call, and it was like, I'm in here alone, and even though it's a different environment, it's still too much like what I've been going through lately. And so, and sometimes you go and coming from the washroom, whatever it is. So, but yeah, it's, yeah. Sonny's looking right. Lay down, hey, Sonny. Gotta reach for when he backs up. But yeah, so, he's mostly been good up here. So, anytime that I'm spending a lot of time up here, I might just bring him up here. But anytime sometimes just going to the seat that's closer to the computer, or sometimes just getting up, he gets up, which he's a little less likely to do on the chair or the couch downstairs, but sometimes. But yes, I mean, I don't want to seem impatient, but I mean, there's definitely a part of me knowing that she's there today. If I can get this sent off today, that wants to then call and just say, have you been able to receive this? I'd like you to see it. I'd really like you to see it. I wish she'd given me a more strong answer. It was kind of an indirect answer, which she should know that I'm not always great with that kind of thing. But I think I got it. And she said that she was part of the hiring process. Essentially, she was saying, yes, she would reference for me. She would vouch for me. And I'm going to also allude to it in the email that she thinks highly of me. So, but yeah, so what I'm kind of working on is a cover letter. Like I said, this, even though it's part-time, the life coach thing would be on the side. And, as like, or it'll be freebies whenever I post a video if people are watching and wanting. Because, wouldn't you know it, probably as soon as I get this opportunity, possibly by fluke, sunshine coming through the class, is when other things will start to pick up. I do and don't feel like that's happened a lot in my life, but I know that it can happen. So, I did think of a specific question as we got it. Didn't even fully get it out. Didn't even have curiosity about the question. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know if it's audio quality. I don't, I'd like to understand. But everybody has different reasons too, possibly. But, yeah, that's just weird to me. And I do and don't feel it's also a little bit rude. But now I could possibly get up and come here without the dog getting up. No, he did. He almost didn't. But I'm just going to quickly go to the other room. Actually, before I do so, I'm just going to type. And there's a reason why I would put it in full, but I realized that. And the dog just relayed back down. But no, I do have to go to the other room for a moment. Well, I mean, there's also different age groups and different people, even though I think most people that are using the internet should know common lingo or abbreviations. Some don't. But that's another reason. But I didn't remember this last time. I did not let the face not in mind do that. Don't get the thing out of the future. Don't get the whole thing. Trying to fit them in because it might not be. Yeah, and Eric, when I said I'd give it back to, I don't know why he would have thought about, let me know, I've been able to reach him. It's a really neat looking mallet. That was kind of a weird guess when it was actually the hospital thing, which is the other thing I want to call about. But right now my head's in this, and it's closer, it's more familiar. I think it's, even though they might both be a fit, I think that this is a better fit, and yeah. So yeah, looking it reverses things. But it is something I'm meaning to do. And I do and don't feel like Eric's been that helpful, even though he's done it before. He said he's been there for 14 years, and he said he did that for 6 months. But, Sonny, go lay down again, please. Thank you. Go lay down, please. Thank you. But yeah, so. Whew. Did I just see as I went from that screen if you were coming? If so, I probably shouldn't acknowledge them. I think it's nice to do that. As I said, when the last one came in, I had an idea for a question to ask them, but that would be assuming that they would be willing to, one, answer it, and two, comment. But I mean, I didn't think it was a bad question, and it may or may not have applied to the person, and I don't know, it's just a conversational thing, I guess. Now, as far as resumes, that's right. There is like an extra N in environment. Environment. I remember that. So there's a couple things there. So as far as resume goes, well, maybe let's do this one thing first. And as far as the other thing that might be on there, again, I'm not pressed. All it was being nice to them in the environment we knew them at. I think I only saw them once or twice one of the guys was proposed, but he wasn't there at that time. Simply in the neighborhood, but we never talked with each other because, well, I think that was after the incident, and I honestly got the feeling like he was doing what he was told to do, but but no, I don't know. Yeah, that and I have stayed away. So, but even though things were wrongly looked at, you know, it was right in the sense that it didn't go further than it did, uh, considering the facts. It seems like nobody lied, so that was good. But I don't want to get too much into that, though. But as far as resumes, it's interesting. This is a phone job, even though I would say this is different phone work than call centers. I have that background. Also shows the gap. It really shows that, I think it's been since 2012 since I've actually had work. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 18, 19, 7 years, and then the pandemic came. And that was like, what, 2 or 3 years almost? So about 10 or, that's hard to believe, but I think it's accurate. They didn't acknowledge that one, and they didn't say. But I just know that this is very important to me. If they can make an exception, I'll either start. I did kind of allude to, or next year. Yeah, hopefully that video did post, even though it just didn't show the one prior to it. But that they make an exception, take me on. I mean, well, because the next thing I say is we get a viewer. So I'm just kind of, I guess you could show this as part of the employment coaching side of things. Again, this is a very diverse video, and I'm making it, to the viewer goes. But so I will continue doing what I was going to do then. But I think it's obvious I'm catering this as well to the viewers. But I've often thought career coaching, because it narrows it down, it's more specific. As I said in the previous video, though, like, I'm not opposed to other coaching except dating advice. I'm not really, I know that's a big one, but I'm not really mostly open to giving that. It's not that I, in some ways, couldn't. It just, and that I don't want to help with that. It's just not really where my expertise is not necessarily the right word. My comfortability is. Okay, living in limbo and trying and then let's use both because I can't decide which one, and I think they're both having to wait for things. And to be being isolated and stuck in feeling out of purpose. It's familiar to me, did that perfectly, and accessible, and I feel the perfect workplace for me, especially there's some extra spaces. It's not really seeming not in the unit, but more so online. Not super hectic environment. Ambient lighting, if it's the room I'm thinking, but either way is fine. Walking distance. I don't think it actually caught that typo, but I did. I don't drive, and I'm not a big fan of transit. Remember, actually, would does reflect, or actually, the reason I want to keep the word actually there is because a lot of times I feel like the jobs that I'd like to have, and maybe other people can relate to this, did not reflect what's on my resume or the experiences that are on my resume. Not that my resume isn't as accurate as it could be, but I soak up soak up stuff on the internet like a sponge, one of those. I'm just, not toot my own bugle, as I would say, but I'm just a naturally smart person. I don't know everything. I'm not claiming that I do, but, and it's kind of like, but I'm not going to say, oh, I watched a video about this, or, oh, I read something about this, or on my resume. But I have gained a lot of knowledge because I've done those things. You know what I mean? So, but if we were to reference something on my resume that actually kind of fits with this opportunity that I'm trying to get, this job, what I'm alluding to about in this would make sense. So as I came to the other tab here, I did notice that somebody just came in to, but then they leave. I don't know what's going on. You know what? I'm just gonna talk and do this, and if they want to chime in, they'll chime in. Why is that just occurring to me now? Because I am I try to be personal. I try to be engaging, as opposed to doing that. And I I don't want people to feel ignored. Blah 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 blah. Maybe some people would rather just watch, and if they choose to say something, great. If they don't, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. But I also felt like it was worth explaining why I was kind of seeming like I was multitasking, because I am. But I think it's worth. I wasn't going, and yeah, because we've had. I wasn't going to podcast this, but I thought, like I said, if I can get the company doing it, why not? So as much as I really don't want to attach my resume, I mean, they can see that those jobs were all very long ago. Do I have words about them contacting Leger? Asking to speak to management or human resources? I think she said that she would be willing to be one. I just felt like she probably wasn't going to be the best one. I mean, it was a remote job. We'd never met. She I think it was in the other video, I explained kind of something that happened at that workplace, and she surprised me with how she looked at it. And it's been, I guess that was possibly early pandemic. I think it was the summer of 2020. And I think when Live New Flyer, I had that job. And then near the end of that job, I don't remember having shifts at the same time, but you got that other one that didn't last super long. And then I left that one because of things going on there. And then he left that one. And then it all eventually did work out. But yeah, I do and don't remember it being touch and go like at the same time, but yeah, I kind of remember it being something like that. But basically, and good luck. I'm sure that Pam and David have retired, so good luck reaching them at Telly. And otherwise they'll probably just say, "Oh yeah, he worked here, a couple of years here, year there." People do that. We have a high turnover. He seemed to be a pretty dedicated staff person. I don't know. I mean, again, if they don't know me and if there's no notes, they can't say a lot. But again, might not even need that with what's their face being involved. So, no, if I didn't be, that's something I wanted to look at to see if in the past, if I did. I hate to open another email tab, but just for a moment. But I am trying to multitask, as viewers are here, when they are. I'm not telling them I won't go down. Excuse me, that I burp at them. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I don't usually see that active button there. That that I'm not just doing what I'm trying to do here, but a little bit kind of tired eyes and this and that. But I'm actually feeling not too bad. Since I'm a little under the weather. Really? Do I have to type the whole thing? Or select this? That's the one I'm working on now. That was one I sent to Glenn. Never did get that answered. I don't know if I just never sent the resume with it. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June 24th of 2022. So actually a couple of years ago already. Hard to believe. It is and isn't wordy. I do and don't think I'm getting more wordy with the one I'm writing now. It's specific. I don't know. I don't know what the problem was with that. Now, as far as yeah, but workplaces, they're just going to require you to have to submit a resume. I don't think that it's necessary that you do it via Indeed, especially if somebody knows that you've done it by email instead, which is my preference. There was something else I did see though in that old email that it's weird that I was looking for evenings. The other person in the household was never working evenings. Maybe part-time, but like part-time in general, daytime hours. And I don't know, and we probably had our routine, so that's odd. Yeah, I don't know why I mentioned that. But I was noticing it even back then, some of the service was a little iffy there. That R capital seems like I was referencing a name. I can't think of who that would have been back then. Again, that's 2 or 3 years ago. So this is what it looks like for, someone who has a lot of skills and talents, but also is human and struggles. And this is what it looks like to apply for a job, and maybe other people will relate and may benefit from, seeing the process, somebody else going through the process and, what I'm getting from that, or may have questions. So that's what I'm here for. And like I say, even though nobody's really been saying anything or here, at least I feel like I'm not necessarily alone in while I'm doing this. It's now after 1:00, so that's good. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about putting my. I don't see what's wrong about the typo. I don't see the typo in call centers. I mean, the small little things that part of me thinks, but no, I'm not even seeing it. Unless it's not all one word. I guess that's what it is. But kind of homework I want to do now. The warm line is because it's more meaningful and impactful and great for all. I know they're going to be asking about that. That's the thing. It's a long title, but hopefully it works. Yeah, like just training. Like as far as I'm concerned, well, people do have to respect one's choice, but if I get this opportunity, it goes well. I'm a living example. And what better way that that, like they often say, lived experience, this and that, is there to say, you know what? As someone who almost gave up, didn't go all the way or actually try to follow through, but definitely had thoughts of almost giving up numerous times. Now I've landed in this role, which has been great for me and hopefully those I talk to. And, you know, um, I would hope that, even if it's not this, that's something that you would like it to be. I would hope that hearing how my journey has been that way and now isn't would be, uplifting, inspiring, provide hope. As far as, and even though both are serious, you could say, is it ideation you're feeling or worse? And hopefully people will be able to know the difference. Certain illnesses I'm less comfortable with or less familiar with or whatever. But then it's probably just shadowing a bit. And yeah, it's kind of similar to that other thing that I was doing, but it could be so much better, I think. And again, I know, whether I'm putting the cart before the horse, who knows? But I don't think so. The other phone interrupted me, and I'm not being distracted. I kind of want to send this to Natasha too, but I don't really want it to kind of show. It's 117. I really should save her number in here, but I can find it another way too. Do you want to go lay in the crate for a bit, Sonny? You're welcome to do that. Something like that. I don't think she was just a huge sleeper. That's what one discovered. The next time I call it, I really want it to just be to say, I sent an email, can you receive it? Really want to see this? And she was saying if it's on Indeed, apply. And we'll go from there. But, and I kind of said this on the phone, like, well, hopefully, one person, hopefully they can add one in, but that's weird. I had to turn it the opposite way for it to be able to go off. Usually it doesn't think it matters. But, yeah, and I'm connecting to, but, my first appointment with her was fine. I don't know why this looks so zoomed. I don't believe I zoomed it. Oh, well, it works. do and don't think I do it on the phone. Since I deleted that message, it almost doesn't look like it can take new comments, but if they're there, they would probably show. Hi, you're welcome to be here while I'm on the phone. Oh, go, whatever. Hi, can I get Natasha's line, please? Thank you. Slowly but surely, I don't know why the transfer takes so long. It's playing music, so. Oh, hi, Natasha. It's Corey. How are you? I'm okay. I'm glad I reached you. I just wanted to talk for a few quick minutes here because I am eagerly wanting to apply for that job we were talking about, and I've been kind of working on a cover letter, and but I had something previously written that I kind of pasted in, and then I did a bunch of stuff on top of it, and so now I'm not sure if I should put this at the top or at where it's at the bottom here. Basically, it's I guess mentioning. I don't know if you'd call it certain type of skills or if it would be more so like character traits, like empathic. I don't know actually if it's empathic or empathetic, but understanding and things like that, and liking helping others and that kind of stuff. I don't know if that should be like I say at the top or what, but at the top at the moment, what I have is I'm sending because it would really, really mean a lot to me to get about 4 to 8 hours of daytime employment a week. It's not a lot, but what I'd be looking for, like 2 shifts a week, maybe 3 or every other week, and mentioning, someone that I'm actually familiar with, somebody there. I think she came up in conversation the other day with you, and she actually is part of the hiring process. So even though she didn't really say that she could, be a reference, in essence, she probably would be as part of the process. She's not. There's also somebody else that probably would be as well who I'm less familiar with. But yeah. So in your opinion, things like which would be the better thing to start with, or is this making sense? So.
By no means a resume expert.
This is more the cover letter, but yeah.
Because cover letter is, from my understanding, when you write a cover letter, it's usually briefly detailing like your interest, why you're interested in the job, what experience you have, and what experience you have like related to the job, essentially.
Yeah, so I'm trying to cover those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more, from what I understand, not like a point form situation, like writing in full sentences.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on it, so hopefully it'll be worthwhile. So she did say that they are fairly. I think they did a bunch of new hiring, but I don't know if it was for the line as much as it was in the unit, or if it was a bit of both. So she did say, and they also have a lot of casuals. But I'm hoping, and I'm going to allude to this because this is important to me, that they maybe would make space for one more person, either before year's end or when the next year begins. Well, I mean, I'm mostly really applying for the line, and I would only want part-time hours. And initially I wasn't going to ask about every other week, but I want to give them that option, I guess, and me that option too. I mean, like it might be beneficial to have a week off after a week of shifts, even if it's not full-time shift. But yeah, like I say, I guess, so maybe it doesn't really matter what order I put those things in as far as,
kind of put like your information, right? So if you have any specifics around like the part-time and how to reach you and all that, I would probably put that at the very end.
Okay.
After you kind of review.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, I know it's going to be on my resume where I always hope that a cover letter is good enough, but I know they usually require a resume. And I do have phone experience. It's just not quite the same thing that I'm applying for. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, I am not super actively, but I am, well, I thought that I had a file there. And, like I'm still able to use the line. I just don't these days. And one of the reasons aside that I think it would be great for myself to get this opportunity is there are a lot of people that don't really seem to feel fit on the there. And so if I can have some of that, out as well, then I think that would be good. So, but when I called to see about going in there a while back, and I don't even know if it's why I initially had reached out, I was told that I would have to reapply because I haven't been there since 2019. So I may or may not have a file, but I might have some sort of file. But yeah, I mean, my information would be on the resume too. But yeah, okay, all right. Well, I'm glad I was able to reach you on Vim here, and yeah, my other. Yeah.
Like cover letters or resume templates online too, to kind of get some examples sometimes of how others.
Yeah, that's true. I'd forgotten about that. I actually find them mostly easy. I just sometimes get myself a little stuck with it. But yeah, so anyway, I'm glad I reached you. The other appointment I was supposed to have this week, I hadn't heard from her by like 12 or 1 the other day, and she's been sick on Friday, so I kind of was, right? So I figured that it wasn't happening, and then I went for a walk with my supposed to an appointment, and sat there for a bit too, and then came back, and then we came back and missed a call for her, and it was the end of the work day, and now she's booked till next week, and blah, blah. So, but yeah, so anywho, so I think we said Tuesday, and yeah, this was kind of a big thing I wanted to take care of. I might do this call about the hospital thing. I mean, I know I don't have to do it all today, but part of me just wants to get it done, and and I think it'd be pretty easy to take those steps. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it there and later today, depending on the weather. So, but yeah, so and then yeah, but I did. He's trying to figure out the payment, but somebody that knows my spouse and has been getting to know me has hired me for a one-time thing session with something, and so that's been some good news. But yeah, it'd be great to have this opportunity too, where it's kind of a bit more consistent. So yeah, okay. Well, thanks for the chat, and take care. Thanks. Bye bye. Okay, she's very nice. I guess maybe she had a cancellation. Cancellation. I don't know if that's the word, but anyway, maybe she did. Maybe she didn't, but she was able to talk. So. So, yeah, that'll be on the resume, which I'm going to have to be able to locate here, which means I'm going to have to open another email tab. Woohoo! Again, it's sharing the process because some people, obviously myself a little bit included, may find applying for work to be daunting. And it can be, even when you know precisely what you want, where you want it from. Sometimes it's still a process. And I just want to show you ahead of jumping into the process. I mean, everybody goes about it slightly their own way, but what it, like there have been times throughout this video and doing this where I may have thought, where somebody else may have thought to themselves that they were doing it, that they didn't really want to. I remember we used to have that screen up in the basement by the stairs. Didn't really want to continue. But I hope I'm showing the benefits of it, and I'll try and update in the comments when I can, when I have an update. As far as, and Oceana still hasn't called. It's been now 2 days. Oh, that's not long. Maybe she's been away. But as far as employment, I don't know if they do for me. But they might be more willing to work with you on your struggles or whatever. I can't remember the last. Oh, right. It was for a job I decided not to take. That number is wrong. How do I change that? That's my old cell phone number. Can I change this? No, I can open it with Google Docs if we still have it and then change it, I suppose. But then I don't know if I know how to resave it. And Google Docs is something that I feel mixed about because it's something that I've been through. Honestly, they have I don't know if I really need to have my email here. I'm applying by email. They have it. I'm also not really sure if they need my phone number, because they can email me. I don't think there's anything wrong with if people have questions, type them in an email. It may look a little odd, but the nice thing about an email is you can get it when you get it. You don't have to worry about it. Not that I'm hugely busy or whatever, but interrupting something when you don't want it to. Or, waking you up or whatever. It wants to be during the day, and yeah, I don't know. But just catching you off guard, As long as you're remembering to check emails, that's the thing. But whether you're waiting for a call, waiting for an email, you're waiting, Yeah, I don't know if it really needs to be there. Now, it seems like it hasn't been that long, but I've been pretty constantly working on this. I don't remember the wording being like that, but whatever. No. I'm going to take this out for now, because I don't want to work towards full-time, even if I loved it. With this job, and with any job, possibly, I don't think I'd. And if my self-employment starts to pick up, then it's a waste. I mean, I know that this was pretty. I'm going to take that one out of there. I mean, I'm sure I looked at this back then. Before I do a whole lot, I just want to make sure, like, there is a save option. Oh, there's an email option too. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, able to adaptability to a changing work environment. No, and there would be no reason that it would be changing in this. Customer service. I don't remember this looking like this, but like nobody made changes. I don't know why that highlighted in blue, but did put courteous and I don't want to promise that I have a patient attitude. I try to, but I don't think I want to promise that I do. I don't know if I want to keep persuasive sales ability in here either. It's okay if it's for a sales job. Some people may not like persuasiveness. I mean, I used to think oh, why adapt a resume to a job? But this is something I'm just kind of thinking about now. Your resume is your resume. If you take things off of it, it's no longer accurate. But I just mentioned a couple of things I took off of mine. Well, it's already been an hour. Hard to believe. And I just took off something about using Microsoft Word because I likely won't have that at this job. And I took off something else, but now I can't remember what it is. And it's not there anymore, so I won't be remembering what it is. But yeah, as long as I don't think about it. I mean, it still was, as we still had fun, it still was a success. Just not in the format that I thought. Oh. The other thing I'm wondering is if this resume should, or if this should be in bigger font. Maybe just make it all bigger. I can't remember what's happened just before 2020. I'm mixed about mentioning that place. But again, I don't think they'd reach anybody who was really all that familiar with me. And I think once they got to the step process of looking at my stuff and talking with each other about it, I think Dallas would start to speak positively of me. Where when somebody is less familiar with others, or nobody knows them really, okay, it makes sense then to maybe go and ask references. At the moment, well, I mean, it has the contact information of the places. I'm happy to say that it looks like I was able to make the font bigger there, and now it's gone onto 3 pages because of it. But it wasn't showing the size of the window at first. Because I selected it, but yet it's still making it bigger. And it's like a couple sizes off in a couple spots. Like I'm not quite getting it the same size, but now I am. I mean, it's digital, so I mean, I'm happy to see that. Yeah, it's not as complicated as I thought. It's all digital, so it doesn't really matter if it. I mean, 3 pages I don't think is that weird, but also I'm thinking of taking off some of this. Like, I didn't finish that. I don't know why we ever decided to keep that on. Same with that one. I think just to have something there. I'm not even sure about that one after the thing that happened last year. They did say I was welcome to come back, and I have been doing it for a lot of years. That doesn't seem accurate, that date, actually. 2010 to 2019, and then the pandemic came, and then a couple of years since then. But that's only 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, yeah, I guess so. 12 years. Well, I would update this to 2020. I'm going to take that out because it's not a kitchen job I'm applying for. I don't think I'm going to get it down to under 3 pages, but that's okay. I am not seeing a save option, which is quite bizarre, but whatever. I am seeing the email option, so I'm going to do it. This is so interesting. Please also see cover letter. I so look forward, not forward, bad, to hearing back from you. And yes, I've not abbreviated things, and I don't do it nearly as much as some people, but it's weird that the file type has PDF type, but it doesn't, which is what it was before. I mean, it's essentially as good as Word. I don't know why I mean, I know I don't apply as often as supposed, but open document, spot on the screen. I almost thought that was selected already. PDF works for me. I might like to make, I don't know what happened there. I was hoping to make that. But yes, it knows the email once I type enough of it. I don't want to do it in caps. And, just say I look forward to hearing from you shortly. This is a message option in Google Docs. I would just like to know if I can make the font bigger. And there are some options, but not that. So good enough. Well, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I really just want improvements. I should have checked to make sure it's sent first, but I can close this. I can go sent. And not see it. And it didn't ask me, I didn't even see an option. Snooze? No. Didn't even see an option. Hello? Hi. How are you? I'm okay. It could be, yeah. I think that wasn't a long way to go. Okay. Thanks for calling. Yeah. Well, I was just working on trying to apply for a job. There isn't exactly a position available, but I'm hoping that there could be at least one, kind of similar to this field actually.